But you're weren't you watching the same movie yesterday? Oh, was that catching my voice? Yeah, I think so. I keep worrying that I accidentally turned my mic off again. Nope, there we go. Chrome, fucking garbage browser. Okay, I thought yesterday you were watching the second one. Oh yeah, oh wait, so you saw the second one, but you didn't see the first one? Unless you're rewatching and just forgot about that part. Yeah, I like the movie. Chupapi Munyenyo chomp. I don't know how to color things, so I'm gonna be struggling here. Ah, okay. Tortilla? Well, it's pronounced tortilla, yeah. Although I love to make fun of people who say tortilla. Because I live in New Mexico, so if we hear people say the words wrong, it's kind of really funny. The only time I say it tortilla is when I'm making fun of that one vine. More like Hurricane Tortilla. Yeah, if anyone says tortilla, bless their heart. Oh, hey, I'm working on it's a late night taco truck. It's a snake, oh my god. A snake of cakes. Watch out. Congratulations on meeting her idol. Yeah, I'm trying to draw a midnight taco truck. You know, it's like one of those. I don't know if they got them like everywhere, but where I live, they sure as hell do. It's those taco trucks that usually show up at least at night and sometimes last till like past midnight. And they're just kind of out there, so I thought it'd be cool to draw a taco truck, but there's some odd stuff going around it. Like, the server is transparent, this guy has a tail, these two are going to be obviously vampires. So it's like a late night taco truck for late night creatures. Oh, one thing I forgot to say. Alright, now I'm trying to block in the colors because, I always struggle with, like, coloring and lighting things, because it has to be at night, and I want the light source to be coming from this window and this sign. And I'm not great at lighting things, so I gotta figure that out. You should just slap the colors on without worrying about them being clean. Gotta figure out everything first. Is that? Maybe you can draw some people in a mushroom forest. Cause like forests, you can just kind of do anything there as long as there's a bunch of trees or giant mushrooms, or maybe regular sized mushrooms, and the people are tiny. This one took me a while to sketch and draw because I don't draw a lot of vehicles. Vehicles are one of the things I would like to practice more. It's gonna be like a warm yellow glow coming from inside of here. I want this to be like faded. Not that faded. Yeah, one of the things that's difficult in scenes is like figuring out how everything fits together. And trying to make sure the sizes of the characters like make sense. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, I'm gonna draw a whole scene. And then I realize that like the various heights or just like general sizes of the characters don't make any goddamn sense based on what I've done. Okay, I think this is too bright, but maybe just too yellow. So I want it to be well lit in here, and then the light from here is gonna be shining out and showing everything else. That's how it is with those late night taco trucks. Yeah, I guess I go those papers are gonna be illuminated from the back. Maybe you could draw a forest of people with some mushrooms traveling through it. Fuzz with the colors a little bit. Well, these mushrooms are kind of easy. It's like they got the stem and they got the cap, And some of them are more complicated, like they got the weird stuff going on under the cap, or they got drippies, or... But generally, mushrooms are just a fun shape to draw. I support you in drawing more mushrooms if that's what you want to do. I should really make the truck, like, contrast that, but I don't want to make it look too dirty. There we go. Just to look older. Yeah, I suck at drawing, like, vehicles that have, like, curves. Like, this one wasn't too bad because it's all, like, you know, angles and boxes and rectangles. But once you put, like a sloping hood on a car or something, or, like, a sports car with, like, smooth lines on it or something like that, my brain short circuits? I don't know why. If it's a fucking cube with wheels, ideal vehicle. Best to draw. Okay, now I want this dog to just be pitch fucking black. I want it to be a shadow creature. Wait, can I just... No, that's okay. You got them, that portrait drawing going on. I have trouble drawing people facing forward because, symmetry is difficult, but 3/4 view is my bitch. I love 3/4 view. Both the characters whose faces I've shown have 3/4 view. Did you go, oh, the eyes aren't symmetrical? Because that's, because of perspective? Yeah, if you keep going, then you'll be able to draw whatever the hell you want. If you just want to draw people facing forward, draw your people facing forward. But if you want to expand stuff, then do some studies and keep going. You're able to draw whatever the hell you want if you put in the practice. Unless you're lazy like me and don't like putting in practice. Nice, you're getting there. Starting with faces, working on bodies. Just break everything down into simple shapes and go from there. Hands are like such a bitch, but if you don't shy away from them for too long and keep going, you could eventually just like bust out hands. They won't always turn out good. They won't always turn out looking like hands, but eventually you'll be able to draw recognizable hands. Okay, I think I like that. Let me like a little plastic shelf. The edges of the tires, which are not as dark as the dog. There was I can't even remember it right now, but there was a post about someone whose friend was working on this like huge world building project, but they absolutely hated drawing hands, so they decided that in their world, in this universe they were creating, it was considered really rude to show your hands. It was like hands are considered like the most private part of the body, so you have to have your hands covered at all times, so everyone in their story just wore mittens. Which, like, is hilarious. And also a great workaround. should do some more studies. I'm so lazy about doing that kind of academic stuff. My favorite way to do studies, because they're always like kind of boring, because I'm like, I want to draw something for my imagination, because you know that's more fun. I like to like I'll do a study, I'll look up references of like just the whole landmass is just shaped like a mitten. It's a sign from the gods, we must cover our hands. But yeah, like what was I just saying? Oh yeah, my favorite way to do studies to make them less boring is like if I'm drawing a hand or something, like if I'm holding my left hand out and drawing it with my dominant hand, I'll copy my hand and then I'll draw it holding a fireball and cover it in like rings and jewelry or something like that, or I'll draw tattoos all over it. Or if I'm doing figure drawing for like human figures or animals, then I'll draw them, but then I'll dress them in armor or like a cool outfit or something like that. Or I'll make them into a ninja, or I'll put them in a fucking fursuit or something, you know? Which is like, that's not something they usually teach you in like formal art classes. Which is like, it's really stupid, because kids are always like, I don't want to do the boring practice, and the teachers are like, well, you gotta do it. Okay. But it's like, bruh, it's an easy way to make it better, like, just make it into something fun. Yes, welcome to the Fibonacci stream, where we like to count numbers in a very specific way. Let's go. Give me a 1, give me a 2, give me a 3, give me a 5, give me a 8. Yeah. Like, if you have a crappy eraser, like if it's just like one of the really cheap ones on the end of like a mechanical pencil or something, or a wooden pencil, and it gets like oil on it or something, or I don't even know what causes erasers to go bad, but if it's not like a perfectly fresh eraser and it leaves those fucking smudges, I hate that. Like, if you can, get yourself a nicer eraser, because having those smudges is such a hassle. I think my favorite one to use for like really delicate work is a kneaded eraser, and also an eraser pen. Yes, we will strengthen our brains by counting in a very specific way. I think my least favorite part of drawing on paper is because I like to do pencils and then I like to put inks over it. And I'll be like, I won't give the inks quite enough time to dry, because I'll like miscalculate how much time I need to get it to dry, and I'll try to erase it, and it'll smudge the inks across the page, and I'll be like, ah! And I'll, when I made that sound, it scared my dog. I'm sorry, dog. Alright. It's like, I am going to very carefully erase this one tiny lot. Oh, there, it's gone. Half of the character's head is gone. Yeah, okay. Great. I still really love working traditional, though, too. I just kind of jump back and forth between traditional and digital and all that stuff. Yeah, bro, we'll be counting over here like you have no goddamn idea. Give me a 13. Give me a, what's the next one? 21 or whatever it is. I can't remember the Fibonacci sequence right now. Yeah, I work on digital stuff when when it's something like this that I have no idea how I'm gonna color it in and shade it and all that. So I can just mess around with it if I want to. Sometimes, although I would try to avoid drawing on schoolwork, but I did often get in trouble for drawing during class. Way back then in high school, back in my day. And also in middle school, and sometimes in elementary school. Like, yeah, sometimes I would just be I would sometimes, if the teacher was cool, if sometimes I would get like silly little ideas for like a comic or oh, that's okay. I understand what you mean. Like I doodle something related to the work that I was doing, and the teacher would be like, "Oh, you were actually paying attention and you interpret it in an interesting way." And I'd be like, "Yeah." Are you gonna get mad at me? Yeah, I always tried to keep my stuff on other papers, even if it was just doodles. And then I'd get caught anyway, and I'd be like, literally, if I just sit here and try to listen to you teach or try to take notes, it's not gonna work. If I don't draw, I'm not gonna absorb the information. Literally, that's how it works. So in classes where I couldn't draw easily, I would just sort of fidget the entire time. And then just do really badly in that class. So good job, teachers. Well, that's trash. It's like, bro, not everyone processes things by directly staring at the teacher and listening to them. Some people process things in different ways. The worst thing is like when a teacher calls you out in the middle of an entire class and they're like, "Do you want to show us what you're working on if it's so important?" I'd be like, "No." Why are you interrupting your entire class just to bother me? Do you have nothing better to do, like teaching, rather than picking on one of your students, huh? I literally cause you no trouble. What's your beef? Oh man. I've had some chill math and science teachers. Some. But some were always like, oh my god. Actually, I think some of the worst teachers I've ever had have been English class. Creative writing, some of the best teachers. And sometimes I've had really great English class teachers, but I've definitely had some awful teachers all around. I just would not accept that some kids just don't learn by just staring at you. Just let me fucking process the work in my own way. It's like, bruh, I don't know what you're trying to do by making me feel embarrassed in front of everyone, but it's really not helping keep my mind on the lesson. Like, what is the thought process there? I will shame this student into listening. Surely making them feel awkward in front of everyone will help my cause of making them have good test grades or whatever teachers care about these days. And instead when someone like bothers me like that, teacher's like, oh ho ho, you know, trying to be a smartass. I just end up like, oh god, I hate this teacher. I can't do nothing in this class. It's like, if anything, it's just a distraction. Stop it and keep teaching your class. I swear, I'm 29 and I'm still bitter about high school, I swear. Oh my god. It's like, teacher, are you okay? Do you have, like, are you insecure? What are you worried about here? You know, what color should the chairs be? The chair should also be black or something. Ugh. And I'm glad I got, like, out of the public schooling system when I did, because it seems like it's just gotten kind of worse. Just, like, in general. Even before the Great Plague befell us all. Like, it seems like I became even more obsessed with test scores than actually teaching kids things. What a great message to send to the children. If you don't test well, then, fuck you. Right. Oh, putting all your work into actually learning things and retaining knowledge in meaningful ways and putting it into practice in the real world? No, that's actually not important. What's important is that you do tests well and you remember highly specific information on the spot. Forget being able to understand the real life applications of the things we're teaching you. Like, why you should learn complex math at all. I think the most important thing that any sort of math has taught me is just, like, all financial things. Mostly. What? That's trash. Yeah, you have one day to remember all this crap. No stress, buddy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, like pop quizzes and big tests. I hate them both just as much, but with for different reasons. Pop quizzes because when asked to recall any information on the spot, my brain will yeet itself directly out of one of my ears, and I won't be able to remember anything. And if it's a big test, then I just get really stressed out about it. Even if I study, even if I grill the information into my head, I say this as if I have to take tests anymore, then there's no guarantee I'm gonna actually remember it. Yeah. Or a big thing that bothered me during high school was when a teacher would act like their class was the only one that mattered, or the only one that you had. It'd be like, yeah, you have a big project due Friday. And it'd be like, okay, I also have 3 other big projects due Friday. Did you and the teachers coordinate this just to make us suffer? Or do you refuse to ever talk to each other and this was just a coincidence? Or it'll be like, you have the entire weekend to study. And it's like, what? It's like, what kid out there just has a completely free weekend? I mean, I know some kids grew up with parents who don't make them do entire house projects on the weekend, but some students have jobs in high school. Some people have family obligations. Like, who the hell? The weekends are supposed to be for relaxation. That's basically just to, I guess it's sort of realistic. Because until we abolish capitalism, it's just going to pretty much be like, oh yeah, you're going to be expected to work nonstop, even on your free time. You will never have a moment to yourself. Fuck you. Oh, I forgot to mini this. There we go. Tried to have that up there the whole time. Yeah, it's like, okay, are we gonna get, are we gonna get time in class to finish this project for your class? No, you have to do it on your own time and often have to collaborate with people who have different schedules than you and different classes and different obligations. You're supposed to do it on your own time. Either that or cut into other classes or to your own lunch break to do it. And it's like, excuse me? This shouldn't be something that we just get kids to, expect to have to do. It's like, I know it's not exactly a job, but it's still yeah, it's high school and stuff like that. There's truancy laws keeping kids in there. Like, I know I'm supposed to be learning and thinking about the lessons when I go home and stuff like that. You already give me homework. Can you not pile on all this other stuff? Can we do the group projects during class? And only during class. Stop trying to make your class the most important one. I'm thinking specifically of my English teacher from my last year of middle school. I'm still bitter about that one time. We did a huge group project. Everyone in the group contributed to it, and the last part had to be done by our team member. And she took the project home with her to finish it. She was going to put the finishing touches on it. It was so good. We were all so proud of it. We had our whole presentation put together. And then our teammate got food poisoning, was horribly sick in bed, sent letters to us like, I'm so sorry, I apologize, I can't be there for it. I have the whole thing at my house, but I can't get it to the school. And the teacher failed all of us on the project. I will never forgive you. I can't even remember her name now because I just haven't decided to keep it in my memory. I'm still bitter about that after all these years. The one person you hate or the person you never talk to. Yeah. I don't know what it is about, I don't know what it was. I need to stop talking like I'm still in high school, because I'm not. Like, I don't know what it was about teachers trying to keep you away from your friends. Because, like, I understand that some friend groups will just goof off. They'll just be silly and they won't get anything done. But, like, some people work a lot better with people they actually know. And I know it can help to try to get you to cooperate with people who you aren't usually around, because it gets you used to, like, working with strangers and stuff like that. It's important not to stress just because you don't know someone, but still. The way it was often treated, like, oh, you don't want to do work, you just want to mess around. It's like, no, I want to be able to focus because I don't want to feel judged by the group I'm with. Get it right, Teacher Karen. I don't know, maybe it's like a formal thing? I'm not entirely sure. Like, it might just be like tradition of calling teachers by the last name. Unless you have a teacher who's like, no, call me Miss or Mr. First Name. Or the really cool teachers are like, no, just call me by my first name. I like my literature teachers back in middle school. Literature and creative writing teachers, some of the best people. English teachers, from my experience, most of them were terrible. Yeah, it might just be like a formality kind of thing. So kids don't get too cozy or whatever. But some teachers prefer to be more friendly. Oh yeah, I'm glad that, like, well, in our school generally we had like Spanish and French as second languages. That was pretty nice. I don't know why anyone would learn French. Like, I guess for fun? Sure. But, like, I live in New Mexico. So, like, I just don't understand why anyone would learn French unless they were planning to go to France a lot. Or unless they were just a Francophile. We did have some special extended classes, but they were in a building that you had to walk to way the heck on, like, the other part of the thing. Oh man, yeah, Canadian, because there's, like, a bunch of French Canadians. Canada's huge, though. So, like, there's probably parts of it where you're never gonna have to know any French. It'd be nice if they at least gave you options. Like, it would make sense. Yeah, it would make sense to learn it in certain parts of Canada. But hey, they should give you the option to, like, maybe you want to learn Spanish for some reason. Yeah, we have this extra special class that, like, our school is, like, partnered with it or whatever. Thankfully, I didn't have to get on a bus to it, but I still wasn't able to go to it because of my health problems. I wasn't able to walk all the way over to that building every day, but we actually had Chinese and Japanese possibilities for classes, which I thought was super cool, and I really wanted to join the Japanese class, but I just wasn't able to walk all the way over to the extra building every time. Yeah. So they, like, make you learn it? In my high school, it was like you had to choose a second language somewhere. You had to get, like, at least a few semesters of it in, I think, but... And then, like, anything after that was, elective. But, like, you have to specifically learn French, and then if you want to learn another language, that's, like, an extra class. Oh, man. Okay, so it's like you gotta learn a second language. So you have to learn French. That sucks. Like, I know French is considered to be such a pretty language and all that, but also it's really confusing, and I don't think anyone should have to learn it unless they live in a place where it's spoken all the time, so you live there. Or if they just really want to. Taco. Indeed, taco. That is what is going on here. Ah, dang. So after grade 10, you can drop it. What's that, like, that's like sophomore year, right? In high school. 5? Jesus. Oh my god. Yeah, that sucks. It was like too much French. I don't even think I went through that many years in Spanish. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, that sucks that you had workers that made it difficult for you. I like hearing people talk in other languages because I'm like, ooh, what are they saying? Or if they're talking in like Spanish, then I'm like, ooh, I want to know how much I can understand. But if I had people who were like, if I had to work with them and if they were like being a pain to me, I'd probably always be paranoid that they were saying something about me because I'm kind of selfish like that. But yeah, I'd also like to learn more Japanese. I started like just barely beginning to learn some hiragana on Duolingo, and I can remember a few of them. I'm mostly still trying to focus on my Spanish because I like learning it, and I would like to be a little bit more fluent in it someday. But I'd also like to learn more Japanese because I want to be able to. I just think it'd be really cool to understand anime without using subtitles. I don't always like dubs. Actually, most of the time I don't like dubs. Oh, I'd also like to learn some more sign language. I have a book on it, I watch videos on it, but I haven't been practicing enough. So I'd love to like actually go to Japan. I want to go to Japan for like a couple very specific reasons. First thing is I want one of those giant parfaits, like one of those massive parfaits where it's like layers and layers of like ice cream and fruit jelly and like yogurt and pudding, and it's got like a slice of cake on the top and cookie sticks sticking out of it, and it's lined with fruit slices. You know those? I could probably make something like that, but to have something like that served to me would be amazing. I know they're expensive, but like, and I also want to go to some Japanese thrift stores, and I want to go to the JoJo Cafe. Yes, complain about French. I only ever hear people saying, "Oh, it's such a beautiful language. It's a language of romance." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah, whatever." Yes, complain about French. Their counting system make no sense. There are too many vowels. Vowels all over the dang place. And you've been through like multiple years of French. Okay, your French teachers must suck if you haven't absorbed anything. The most French I know is like papillon is like a butterfly. And also, apparently the letter I, it's not pronounced like I or I, it's pronounced all. Oh. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It sounds kind of like here, because, like, I live in New Mexico in the United States, and there are a bunch of Spanish speakers. We're really close to Mexico, there's a large Latin population, but you don't really need to know, like, any Spanish to get around here. It's like, everyone knows a little bit. As long as you know some basic rules of pronunciation, and, like, as long as you eat food here often enough, you're gonna know some words. But you don't have to be fluent to really, like, get around or anything. It's still nice, though. I just like the process of learning languages. I think it's fun. As long as they're languages I want to learn. I refuse to learn French. Oh, cool. Yeah, you probably know a couple things then. I'm like, Spanish is one of those things where, like, I'm getting better at reading it, and sometimes I change the language in, like, a video game I'm playing to Spanish so I can practice it and learn more vocabulary. But also, if I have to, like, talk to someone, then I have to recall the knowledge, and all of the information dribbles out my brain and onto the floor. And I'll have to sit there going, for like a long time. Like, please don't think I'm having a stroke or something. I'm literally just trying to remember the words. Oh, my vocabulary disappeared the moment I tried to remember it. Todo mi vocabulario. I don't know if I should make Tio here. I don't know if I should make him blue, like a ghost, or if I should just make him like normal person colors, but make him transparent. I'll try normal person colors, but transparent. Ah, wait. Okay. In French? I don't even know. Bonjour, mon nom. Jeanique. I don't know. Et toi? It's probably something like that. In Spanish, it's hola, mi nombre es blank. ¿Y tú? Or ¿y usted? Or me llamo, which means I am called. So, like, mi nombre means my name, but me llamo means I am called, which I think is very dramatic, and I like that. Oh my god, that's great. Considering the Google Translate can be kind of janky, I hope that went well for you. Oh my god. Oh, good, nice. Close one. Maybe the teacher was tired after a day of grading and they were just like, okay, that looks like French. That looks like enough words. Pass. Little gloves, but I forgot to draw the line. Oh, nice. Might as well have fun with your work. There we go. Oh man, oh, I want some tacos. Or like a torta or something. There's this one taco truck over by the Walgreens a couple streets away where like it's just, I don't know what its whole like weekly schedule is, so it might be out there, but it's like they have these tortas which are torta cubano, which is basically like a really big flat burger almost. Like, I don't know how to describe it. If you look up torta cubano, TORTACUBANA, then you could see pictures of it and stuff and recipes, but oh my god, it's so good. Just like a big rich sandwich. It's got like different types of meat, and it's got cheese in it, and the cheese is all melty, and it's got like crunchy lettuce, and oh yeah, the bread on it's like really good. Oh, thanks. I tried to make the cat look like a tassel worm, but due to how cats look, like how they lay down and stuff, it's kind of hard to show that it's a tassel worm when it's laying down, so I didn't plan that very well, but I don't know what a tassel worm would be doing in the southwest United States, but I don't know. No, because like they're German or whatever, I think. Tassel worm. I think that's a German cryptid. It's a cat with. It's like a cat that's also like a furry snake. It's got two front arms, and then the rest of it is just like a cat tube that goes down into a tail. So I don't think that came across, but just so you know, that's what it is. Oh, cool. I think at some point we had German or another language added to the possible languages that could be learned as an elective, well, as like a necessary elective. You got to choose which language to learn, not whether you got a language course. And so it opened the options up for people who wanted to learn something different. It'd be cool to learn how to say various things in German. Like, it'd be great to learn how to insult someone in German, because German sounds like it's such an angry sounding language that I think it would be great to learn some like insults or curses in it. So if you're mad at something, you could curse it, but in German. Because I have the... not that one. Because I have, like, the learning motivation of a 13-year-old. I could curse at people in different languages and they won't know what I'm saying. Oh no! I hope she didn't give a bad name to all Russians everywhere. I had a friend from Spain back in, like, I think my last year of middle school, and she was very strange. I think they have a whole ass different type of, like, culture over in Spain that I'm just, like, not used to. She seemed very old-fashioned. It was weird, but she fit right in with our weird group of, like, nerds. Her parents had, like, just recently, well, I guess, like, within the past few years or something from that time, had just recently moved to the US. So it's like she came from a completely different culture. Sapane. More actual red. There we go. That sucks. I hope the Russian friend, gets better. Like, sometimes I meet people with horrible attitudes or something, and I'm like, God, please get better. May self-improvement come to you. Oh. Oh, good. I went too long without stretching my neck. Hold on. Oh, neck stretch time. Just roll it out. Ugh. Okay. Stretch out them shoulders, stretch out that wrist, stretch out that weave. What time is it? Okay, 12:15. Cool. I have like 45 more minutes. Yeah, sounds like an interesting person. Well, it seems like you're still a teen, so hopefully they've, like, well, they would also be a teen, so you'll have time to get better. Wait, how did I get to that level? Was I? Ah, dang it, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Messed up. Did I also get... Whoops. I guess I could just leave that. Yeah, okay. Want that to be on the other layer. Should just consolidate the layers. Bro, sometimes people are gonna pronounce your name wrong. I have both my first and last name, one of which is on my freaking username, Nardachi. It's often pronounced wrong, but that's okay. Not everyone knows how to pronounce things. You just kind of gotta get used to that. Just if you have a name that's like uncommon for your area or uncommon in general, it's like people are gonna get it wrong. If you don't like it, tell people to call you by a nickname that you choose. anyone out there listening, don't forget to drink some water. Stretch out your legs. Do some leg lifts if you're sitting down too long. Stretch out them calves. Yeah, like, if it's a friend of mine, and they jump in, like, oh no, it's actually pronounced like, then I'll be like, oh, okay, you know, because it's my friend. They're just trying to help me. But if it's someone who, for some reason, I don't like them doing that, like just an acquaintance or someone who just met me or something, I'm gonna be like, I can tell them myself, you know. It's like, let me speak. I know my own name. I can help them. Calm down. I am the one with the name. Sometimes I doodle just stupid designs to put on a character's shirt, like in this one, and I kind of want to draw an actual, like, sticker design for this winking thumbs up bunny on a skateboard. That's gotta suck. I'm just trying to, like, imagine being like someone coming into a classroom for a short time, doing the roll call, and for me it would be like Janika, and the entire class in unison, an entire monotone, Janika. I'd be like, they all know. Have I done something wrong already? There's gotta be like one kid in every class that has the weird name that this sub has to be like, oh great. Or the beginning of the school year when the teacher's like, says so and so here. Ooh, nice. Just the one. They get a special gold star sticker. They can stick it right on their forehead. The I got the student's name right star. Trying to figure out how to want to do that part. Maybe I can show that the cat is a Tatzelworm by giving it cat belly fluff that's lighter on the bottom. You know, cats have that like belly fluff that floofs out when they lay down. Best thing about having substitute teachers, sometimes they are just there to put a video on and watch the class. I bet. That is pretty great, though. It's like, I must appreciate that you pronounce my name correctly by screeching. Momentous occasion. I have a name and I must scream. With relief. One time we had a sub back in, what was that, back in middle school, for a teacher who, I can't remember what happened. She had some sort of health emergency that ended up lasting months. And, Mr. May, Mr. May, back in, what was that class? Chemistry? Oh my god, I can't even remember the class. It was one of the science classes. And, we had a great time in there. The whole class actually kind of liked him better than we liked the teacher we had. He was a bit more effective at getting us to, like, remember things. And looked like a huge nerd. Had, like, a bowl cut and horn-rimmed glasses. Just looked like a huge dweeb, which is fantastic. Because you look at him and you go, this guy knows some science. Just look at him, he looks like a stereotype. Perfect. Okay, now I gotta start doing some extra stuff here. Good, they should shut up. Fantastic use of yelling. Maybe the teacher was in the corner like, oh, thank fuck. I'm not gonna say anything because they shut up that one kid. So I'm content. Oh my god, what color is it? I'm trying to base this bottle off of Jarritos. Jarritos. I can't roll my R's, so I can't even pronounce it right, but it's a drink that I like. Okay. I remembered I had one near me. Okay, yeah, they have clear labels, huh? Okay. I remember now. Sometimes you just gotta snap and shout at someone. Their fault for being annoying. Everyone in class probably was glad that you shut them up. Some people just aren't considerate of other people's, like, inability to focus on things, you know? I'm guessing you're real loud with friends. Because you're with your friends, it's exciting. Those things are echoey too, huh? Oh no. Well, like, yeah, I'm assuming since you say portable, they're usually in like those metal buildings. They're basically just like little trailers. I had a few classes out in the portables sometimes. One of my Spanish classes was in the portables, and also one of my geometry classes in high school that was, I didn't go to it for like half the year. I don't know how I passed. Don't listen to me, I'm a bad influence. Again, they were probably just happy to have the annoying student shut up. Either that, or maybe they were completely absorbed in something else. I don't know. Teacher straight up disassociating in the classroom. Teacher straight up high in the classroom. Are these lines too small? I can't see anything. I gotta run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Just a second. Saley, get out of my way. You gotta go outside and pee too, dog. Okay, hold on. Right back. Okay, back. Also had to let the doggo out. Oof. Ah. Dog, watch out. Huh. Weird, because I was also, like, in elementary school, I was super tall. Or at least I just got, you know, one of the tallest kids, like, in the school, next to a friend of mine who was the tallest. But then as I got older, it was like, oh no, it's not gonna keep going. I'm not gonna be a super tall Amazonian of a person. I'm just gonna be like a normal ass 5'5" height. If only it had kept going. Let's see what else needs like basic colors. I swear, I'll scour a whole image and be like, okay, I gave everything its basic shades, now I can figure out the rest of the coloring. And then I'll have missed something super obvious. If only I had kept growing and got to be really tall. I could be so intimidating. Nice, taller than me. May you grow up to be very tall. If that's what you want. When did I color that? Oh, I thought that was that leg. Okay. On taco. I don't know. Yeah, tallness can definitely cause problems with your spine because, like, there's more spine or something. Tall people probably also, like, I don't know, hit their head on low-hanging things and stuff like that. Being average height isn't so bad. Oh, the collar. I forgot the collar. Short king? Nice, got them evenness. And evenly spaced proportions. I think I'm probably a mostly leg kind of person. Looks like there's a little bit of dirt around here. I'm driving around. Is that? Oh, whoops. I don't know, I think I made the cat too similar to the color of the ground to be a little bit darker. Oh, cool. I'd love to see cherry blossoms, like, in person. Closest I've ever seen are, like, we have an apricot tree. Our friend has a cherry tree, and it does get very pretty, but it's, like, a different type of cherry from, like, it's like a sour cherry, so they have slightly different flowers than, like, the sakura cherry blossoms, but we have the apricot tree that has, like, these white and pink flowers that are really pretty. It doesn't, like, shed a lot of them, though. It's as close to anime as I can get. Ooh, cool. Tim Hortons is like the coffee place, right? It's like the Canadian coffee place. I think. Going to get your coffee and walking past the falling cherry blossoms. It's like a good place for some photos. Catch me taking pictures of my coffee under the cherry blossoms. Oh, okay, cool. For a second I was like, that's like it's coffee, right? It's coffee, not just like a convenience store. I follow enough Canadian streamers that I know a few Canadian things. I know Tim Hortons, have known about poutine for a while, and French. and apparently it's cold, and that's all I know. Yeah, it's like the whole like, oh, the cherry blossoms, you gotta see them while they're there. Gotta catch that perfect shot before they disappear this year. It's like too cold even in the northern US for me to be like, okay, Canada is way too far up there. It's gotta be freezing. I would die. And from the southwest, it's a desert. But at least it's a dry heat. You get a lot of that. It does get pretty cold here in the winter, but by pretty cold, I mean like, probably not as cold as you're used to. Nunavut? Nunavut. It's just like a huge place. It was always terrible at remembering where things are on maps. I don't think we ever studied anything to do with Canadian, like, geography. Basically, that's Canada up there. Yep. That's Canada up there, and this part hanging off the end of it is Alaska. Yeah, there's gotta be jokes about Nunavut because it sounds like none of it. I don't want none of that. Yeah, that's gotta be like a classic joke over there. It's pretty much what I thought of as soon as I read that word. Huh, it's even pronounced like that, so the jokes are inevitable. I bet. Trying to figure out how to make that look like a massive tentacles. Guess I could just make it darker. I bet every tourist to the area, or everyone who sees the map and they've never seen it before, immediately pulls out the none of that joke. And they think they're so clever. Don't want none of that. To someone who has not heard this joke before, it's pretty funny to me, but I can see it getting old quick if you hear it all the time. All I got for where I live is pretty much like jokes about Roswell and aliens. Breaking Bad. There's that part where in the show where Walter throws a pizza onto the roof of his house. And that house it's just like a real ass house that exists in the city. People live there. And for a long time it's been a prank for people to get a whole ass pizza and throw it on the roof of that house and like take TikToks and pictures and stuff. The people there have had to call the police on people and get cameras and everything because like people kept throwing pizzas on their house because of the show. It got old after a while. Every once in a while I'd hear one of my friends be like, oh my god, people are still throwing pizzas on top of the Breaking Bad house. Like, you think they would have stopped at some point. It's just a waste of pizza. Come on. It was kind of funny the first few times it happened, but now it's like, please. Stop throwing pizzas in the Breaking Bad house. The teacher's just like, yes, none of that, yeah. Heard that before, kid. Try harder with your jokes. Come back when you've grown up and developed a sense of humor, I hope. Dang kids, I'm making the same joke. Either that or the teacher could head it off and make the joke for the whole classroom. Like, oh, the kids are gonna love this. I'm gonna have to say it for the 50th time this year, but whatever. Pretty sure I can start, like... Just because it's British Columbia doesn't mean they're British. Alright, those... Alright, I gotta, just... What time is... Oh, hey, it's 1. Sweet, it's 1 a.m. While I begin to figure out shadows, I'm gonna open up Twitch so I can send you on to the next person, because I gotta leave soon, but... Just... I guess that's also... Yeah, it's gotta be an annoying joke you hear. Oh, why doesn't anyone in British Columbia have a British accent? Because it's not Britain. This is Canada, it's different. Okay, I gotta... okay. Okay, I gotta, like, think... Okay, so the light... is the part that's hard. Okay. Like, sort of a warm golden glow coming out of the taco truck. I don't want to make it too bright. I just want to get, like, an idea what I'm working with here. Oh, that should be up here. Come on. There's different types of British accent, too, so it's like, wrong one. So it's like... There's, like, Northern, and then there's, like, London English, and then there's... that one YouTuber I follow has a very specific accent from a very specific part of England, and I can't remember what it's called. And people who speak, like, Cockney... People who speak Black Country English... Pick your favorite English accent and go with that. It's not gonna be perfectly like a... Be like... I'm just trying to figure out where the light's coming from here. It's hard. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's like the sort of posh sounding British is like... Okay, all my ability to mimic accents went out the window when I had to try to remember them. It's like, oh yes, I have solved the case. I have solved the case of the murderer because I am very smart, because I have a British accent. Also, I am very rich. You know, it's that kind of voice. And it's like, hello! Literally, innit? Which is like this sort of voice that we kind of like to make fun of a lot, which is kind of mean, but, I mean... Hello, YouTube! You know, that kind of thing. And there's like, whatever accent this is, where they have very strange vowels. I can't even copy it right because it's such a strange accent. I need to like listen to her voice more and try to understand how she talks. Oh yeah, like that really like Valley Girl type of voice. I love doing Valley Girl. Bitch. Move over, Courtney. We're going shopping. Get in, bitches. Let's go get shoes. Like that one music video. I'm gonna figure out how to do this. I used to, like, do accents and stuff all the time when I was a little kid. I'm out of practice with most of them. Most of the time I just like to do them for, like, if I'm playing a video game, there's a bunch of different characters. I like to always make someone a little bit Scottish. Nice. Strong like bear, drink a lot of vodka. Keep you warm in the Russian winter. I started going somewhere else with that one, but... yeah. Good night. Oh, yeah, fuck. I know. Yeah. Why did I agree to fucking go finish fishing tomorrow? Let me see who's on. So I can send you somewhere else. Unless you gotta go to bed, which is also valid, but... hey, thanks, Skillabee. I don't know why I have to say it like that, I just kinda do. I'm trying to figure out the basic idea of how the light is gonna be coming out of the window. And also, I don't know whether I want to... I think I'll just, like, partially erase it, because he's supposed to be transparent, so the light would be going through him. Yeah. Have fun practicing your accents and weird voices. I'm trying to see if there's anyone to send. This game looks really cool. Dama's still playing Hollow Knight. He's still on? Did he have a day off or something? She's playing God of War. Data boy. I love those jokes. Eh. Whatever you gotta do, whether it's drawing at 2 a.m. on a school night or practicing voices. Should I even send y'all somewhere? Is it like it's just... Hollow Knight is so good. Could go bother Dama. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna send you and Skellabee to Dama because they're playing the Hollow Knights, and I don't know, I know you both like that now, so... I'm gonna continue working on this. Skellabee, I'll see you on the Discord. I'm waiting for that to catch up to the thing. I'm waiting for it to catch up to where I am. Yeah, okay.